How long will the pain and trauma from your partner's betrayal last? For how long will you feel angry, sad, hurt, and afraid? How long will it take for things to get better, for you to feel happy again? I'm licensed therapist Jonathan Decker, and today I'd like to share what I've learned as someone trained and certified in healing betrayal trauma, and what I've observed as I've helped hundreds of couples and individuals through the process. I know the path you have ahead of you and how you can come out the other side. If your partner had an affair or was unfaithful in any way, you're likely going through one of the hardest times of your life. We want you to find your light again and feel joy again. That's our whole purpose. So to make sure you don't miss anything that could make a difference for you, subscribe and click the bell to always know when a new video drops. I've worked with hundreds of individuals and couples whose lives have been rocked by infidelity. The trauma is real. It can cause a very legitimate form of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. PTSD occurs when you believe that you are safe and that your world is safe, and then that belief is shattered. It feels like there's no foundation to feel safe and secure. Reminders of the trauma trigger intense emotions of fear, anger, and sadness. You may be hypervigilant to keep yourself safe. You may avoid places, things, and people that bring those powerful emotions to the surface. In the case of betrayal trauma, it's particularly nerve-wracking because your partner is your trigger. If you're trying to reconcile, you probably wrestle with emotions that are all over the place because your brain associates your partner with both love and devastation, belonging and sharp pain. If you're not trying to reconcile, you still have to deal with people, places, and things that remind you of the betrayal. Some of you are feeling triggered right now, just with my talking about it. That's normal, and I want to help you through it. I want to teach you a technique really fast that I learned from my wife. It's called box breathing. You trace the 4 sides of a box in the air with your finger, counting to 5 with each side. With the first side you inhale, with the second side you hold, with the third side you exhale, and with the fourth side you hold, again before repeating. We're actually going to do this right now before we proceed to how to heal from betrayal trauma. That way, if anything I'm saying, helpful though it may be, is triggering intense emotion in you, you can box breathe yourself into a place of calm. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you might feel better right now, or you might need to keep doing it. But now you know how to box breathe when triggered. Now back to the task at hand. How long will it take to recover from betrayal trauma? The answer, of course, lies not just in the efforts of the individuals involved, but also in taking the correct steps to ensure that recovery actually takes place. I once worked with a couple for whom betrayal, secrecy, lies, and revenge had become their way of life. The affairs and counter-affairs went on for decades. I'm honestly not sure how they stayed together as long as they did. Although they had tried several therapists, nothing seemed to be working. They kept hurting, and they kept hurting each other. For over 20 years, they couldn't seem to break out of the cycle, and healing didn't come. I'm going to tell you in a moment what happened when they came to us. I worked with another couple where the husband was chronically unfaithful for several years. She was ready to divorce him. I remember another person, a man whose partner had cheated on him and kept it secret for years after the affair had ended. In all of these cases, the pain and triggers and trauma endured for years until they got the right help and took the right steps. So what are the steps? I'm going to lay them out for you. But first, I want to encourage you, when this video is done, to go and watch our other video called, Is Healing Even Possible? Betrayal Trauma Recovery, in which I give you 5 tips for healing from betrayal trauma. It builds on what I'm about to say. How long will it take for you to heal from betrayal trauma will depend on how closely you follow, as a couple or as an individual, what Dr. John Gottman calls atonement, attunement, and attachment. During the atonement phase, the partner who was unfaithful must be open, honest, and transparent. The infidelity needs to end, full stop. They must be accountable for their actions without trying to minimize, justify, or shift blame. They need to temper their defensiveness with genuine remorse. In fact, showing that their remorse is equal to, or at least in the same ballpark as the pain they've caused, is what will allow the betrayed partner to begin to trust that this won't happen again. This is because the unfaithful partner is showing that they are taking it seriously instead of urging the betrayed partner to get over it, move on, and forgive. The unfaithful partner must earn trust, and they need to take full responsibility for their actions. The betrayed partner, for their part, needs to understand the difference between forgiveness and trust. Forgiveness is letting go of bitterness, anger, and hatred. It's not a one-time choice, but how we handle the hurt and the rage when they come up over and over again. You can forgive someone and still break up with them. You can forgive someone and never see or talk to them again. This is because forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. So you don't carry that negativity inside of you. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Trust, on the other hand, has to be earned. Forgiveness can be given freely, but trust has to be earned. It's necessary for healthy relationships. If you are trying to reconcile, extending trust can be hard. It should only be offered as it is earned. During the next phase, attunement, couples work on improving their relationship, their conflict resolution, and their communication. As forgiveness happens, as trust is restored, and as the relationship itself heals and grows, couples practice attachment, which is the third phase of staying on the right track. In the attachment phase, we reestablish sex as a source of closeness and safety, instead of as a trauma trigger, and create clear-cut consequences to prevent further infidelity. In all of this, a skilled therapist trained in betrayal trauma healing is a must. It doesn't have to be us, but we are trained in guiding you through this. It takes us 3 months to train you in the nuances of atonement, attunement, and attachment, and to help you to apply them. But what of the original question? How long does it take to recover from betrayal trauma? The truth is that recovery isn't a finish line you cross. It's a process of healing that finds you experiencing triggers less often and with less intensity across time. For many, the bulk of the work can be done relatively quickly, within a few months, though triggers occurring even years later are common. But they can be much less frequent and much less painful. What matters is that you know what to do when they do come, and that they no longer dominate your life. You can feel peace again, you can feel joy again, you can feel hope again. This doesn't need to define you or your future relationships. Now, one extra piece of advice: make sure you make time for self-care. You may feel an obligation to all the other people in your life, such as your children, but if you're not taking care of yourself, you will burn out and find yourself unable to help anybody. Self-care isn't selfish, it's simply smart. Now, I want to hear from you down below in the comments. What are your symptoms of betrayal trauma? For how long have they gone on? Have you continued on that path, or have things changed? Or if you have questions for us about healing from betrayal trauma, let us know in the comments below and we'll happily address them. If you found this video helpful, I'd like to invite you to watch the next one right here. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so that you never miss a video. Here at Mended Light, we're invested in helping you heal yourself so that your light can shine to the world, so that you can be the happiest, best version of you. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist, and I'll see you next time.